Hi, we're going to take a brief look at the new multi-cluster feature recently added to Kasten's K10 product. If you've used K10 before, this screen will look familiar. This is the dashboard for a cluster where we've discovered some applications. We have some policies protecting those apps, and some data has been used as a result. But what's new is that we now have this new screen, which is the multi-cluster dashboard. It gives us a summary look across all of our clusters. In this case, we only have 2 clusters configured for simplicity. But what we see is a summary of what's important to us. We can see that there are some non-compliant apps and some failed actions that we should take a look at. We can see down on the actual cluster itself that a breakdown of those applications and the actions. And what we can do is we can click into those clusters from this single pane of glass, from this screen, without having to re-authenticate. And so we can click through like we normally do, or bounce back up to the clusters level. But one question remains: how do we actually create location profiles and policies and not have to independently add them to each of our clusters? Well, what we have is our global resources view over here. And so what we can do is create a global profile, and then we can create a global policy that uses that profile. And so we can distribute those to the clusters using a distribution. And distribution is a new concept we're introducing in this feature. But what we can do is create a distribution that specifies what clusters we want to send them to, these resources, and then what resources do we want to send. And then it will distribute these resources out to those clusters so that we don't have to do it manually, which is great when you have dozens or hundreds of clusters. So we can see that this distribution has sent protect MySQL policy out to these clusters, and so we can go to that cluster and see that this policy is there. So that makes things a lot simpler for people, customers who have lots of clusters. Hope this is helpful for you too.